that legislation, be it through earmarks or other methods. What would you propose doing about it? Would you end the system altogether, or just resist the temptation to do it on your own? That's all.
Well, I don't like pork of any kind, and especially not in our political process. The number of earmarks in our programs are staggering, and that we would take taxpayers' money and people who work so hard for their money and spend it on these programs is just wrong. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. I think we should do, I don't think we should have earmarks in anything. I think if our economy is in the trouble that I think it is, if we are on a collision course with Greece, if we are heading in the same direction that they are, and we've got 18 to 24 months to right this ship, we need to stop immediately any earmarks. And I know it's the temptation of Congress, and it'll make me more popular, and then maybe you'll vote for me if I bring you money. And that's not the reason I'm running, and I don't think we should send anybody who to Congress at all and ever again who will support earmarks. I think it should absolutely be taken out of the system. I think it's hurting this country.
Thank you. Mr. Sutherland.
I think I think one of the problems with earmarks and these amendments is it takes a bill that was good at its conception and when it was drafted to solve a real problem that faces the American people. And what happens through earmarks and through amendments, that bill morphs into something, and it doesn't even look like its original intent when it goes to the floor. And I find that hurts the American people. Also, I think one of the things that we see happening in Washington, D.C. is earmarks are being used as a tool. Now, earmarks represent about 1% of our economy, but it's a very dangerous 1%. It is a lethal 1%, because they're not used for necessarily what's in that earmark as much as it's used for a payoff. You vote for this, and I'll vote for this. And that is not good for we, the people. In a business, we look at many needs, and we identify the most critical needs in our company budget. And so therefore, we determine based on the needs, and we send that money to that part of our company. It's a budgeting process. And I think that that's fair, that is equitable. But unfortunately, because of that, some of that's the seniority problems, and sometimes that's an issue that continues to aid the earmark process. I think it's wrong. I think it's harmful the way they're being used, and I think that it hurts all of America. All of America must be strong, not just parts of America.
Thank you, Mr. Scholl.
Obviously, earmarks cause a lot of problems with our economy and government expenditures. So I would like to follow Representative Bonnier's example. He does not submit any earmarks for his district. And if you folks know going in that I'm not going to support earmarks, and you vote me in, then I don't think you're going to have any problem that I don't vote for bills that are stuffed with earmarks. That's my pledge to you. But more importantly, what's an earmark? It's a bribe. If I've written a bill, and when you look at the health care bill, how did they sell it? They started selling in student loans, and they started putting in more and more and more. That's why it went from originally to be 1,000 pages to over 2,000 pages. They had to buy the individuals off. So it's a bribe. That's unlawful behavior. It violates Article 1, Section 8 in terms of the responsibilities that our government has. But looking at it in a more simplistic manner, who in here likes to listen to Walter Williams when he's on? His broken window theory. I'm there, Shelley and I, we owned a small business in Walton County. Somebody comes by our store, they throw a rock in the window, I gotta fix my window. And the next, a liberal will come in and go, well, that's great. Dave's gonna hire somebody down the street to come and fix his window. And that's gonna generate, that money's gonna go towards that window. And then whoever has the window money, well, he's gonna go do something with that money. And it's gonna continue through the economy. They're missing the point. What if I wanted to go and buy a suit with that money? Now the tailor's out. So it's an inefficient use of capital. They're taking our money getting bribes and trying to target their specific industry. It doesn't allow capital to be efficient. And that's what we need to get our economy back on track.
Thank you. By the way, we are down to the final 3 questions of the evening, and then each of you will have 2 minutes to make a summation, a summary statement. So the next question, and Mr. Sutherland will be the first to address this. And this question is obviously pertaining to recent news events. What is your opinion? Are you open to the idea of drilling for oil off the coast of Florida specifically? Why or why not? Mr. Sutherland.
I am against us being dependent on any foreign nation, period. I think that it undermines our sovereignty, it undermines our economy, and I think that when we are not pursuing our own energy policies, we're not creating jobs. And if we are not working, then our economy is suffering. I think that the disaster that's in the Gulf right now and our pursuing through drilling are 2 separate issues. Okay? If a plane crashes, we do not ground all the planes. If a car crashes, we do not park all the cars. Okay? We just don't do that. I think the federal government is incompetent over the last 7 weeks, and we've seen that. And we've also seen that BP has perhaps done some things illegally and violated the trust of the people. And so they should pay, and they should pay dearly. I grew up in Panama City. A perfect Saturday for me is with my wife and my children on Shell Island, on that white sand. I love that place. But I'm going to tell you something. As long as we are dependent upon foreign nations for our energy, this nation is at risk. And that cannot be. I believe that we should be always protecting our military missions. The military bases in the state of Florida provide $55 billion into our economy. I know that because in 2008 I chaired the Military Affairs Committee in Bay County. I understand the economic punch that those bases bring to our economy. We don't need to endanger those. And so we recognized a mission line. And that mission line had to be honored. I did that as chairman of the Chamber of Commerce and as the chairman of the Military Affairs Committee. We also have to protect our tourism. But at the same time, they're shutting down jobs in Louisiana. They're already decimated by a hurricane, and now they're decimated because they got jobless rates coming. We have got to drill in this country if we are sitting on resources the American people need.
Thank you. Mr. Scholl.
With regards to drilling off, obviously, our coastal area here in the CD2, my position hasn't changed since I entered this race. I said, you can drill anywhere you want. Just don't drill off our coastline. And the reason for that is, as an F-15 pilot, I know that we have military training areas. They start 10 miles off the coast, and they go to 165 miles south. Once you get into that training area, you're in a box where you can work from service up to 60,000 feet. And once you get 25 miles off the coast, you're full up supersonic. We have vital test missions at Eglin and over at Tyndall. And we've got to protect those missions. That's 30,000 jobs. So I say, sure, if you want to drill off the coast, drill anywhere you want, but don't drill here. That's vital. Our beaches are precious, and so are our military training missions. We don't want to move them out to California, which is what they want to do. They want to take the missile, the heat missile program seeking that we have, they want to move that to China Lake. They want to do the rest of the test mission out at Edwards. And then they also want to take, I'm sure they want to take a drone program out there. Because it's politics. Barbara Boxer, she needs those jobs. So we got to hang on to that. But the point of what we're seeing right now with the BP disaster, why are we out there drilling in 6,000 feet of water to begin with? Because the environmentalist wackos drove us out there. We've got so much oil, natural gas, and coal inland that we can develop. Why don't we go after the low-hanging fruit first? And then once that's gone, which is going to be hundreds of years down the road, then if you have to drill over there, maybe we won't have that mission anymore. And then we'll address it then. But for now, let's get the low-hanging fruit. And if you have to drill off the coast, you can drill in the shallow waters off of California. Because BP is constantly saying, well, this has never been done at this depth. Yeah, save the excuses. It's happening now. Solve the problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Olson.
Yes, I have been very clear about this position. I've been unwavering about it, and that is that our if you view everything through the prism of our economy,